Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zaidan Nur Hafizi, and today I will present the material about meaning and cognitive. First is categories and concept. To perceive something as belonging to a particular sort is to categorize. That is something we see, conceive, or recall. When we examine a picture of a person, we classify it as an object of the type photographed. That shows something about the kind person. And if the person is identifiable, we classify him or her as that person. Everything that comes into our consciousness is categorized into one or more groups. Only when the corresponding categories are somehow present in the cognitive system or in our minds is categorization visible. According to cognitive science jargon, mental models of the categories are necessary for categorizations. Next is the role of categorization in cognition. Cognitive processing. Information is recognized, compared, and stored as part of the basic mental process of categorization. It is essential to the way the mind organizes and processes information which affect how we perceive the world. Next is language expression. Language and categorization go together in hand because categorization is essential to communicating mental contents and illuminating the structure of the human mind. Gaining knowledge about our categorization process helps us better understand the cognitive mechanism that underlie language and thought. Next is a mental classification. Beyond merely classify things, categorization also entails identifying similarities and contrasts which improve our cognitive comprehension of the outside world. The next is prototype theory, the traditional model of categorization. The Aristotelian model of necessary and sufficient conditions, or NSC, model for short, shapes the conventional understanding of categorization. A category, as described by NSC model, is comprised of suitable set of essential requirements. Each need is required or intents. If we suppose that the category woman is defined by the three characteristics of being human, female, and adult, a person is not a woman if they are not human, female, or adult. Next, Visi boundaries. Prototype theory challenges the idea of clear category boundaries, suggesting that categories have Visi boundaries and graded membership, allowing items to be more or less prototypical. Challenges to traditional view. Prototype theory challenges the traditional view of categorization, leading to critical examination of its assumption and implication. Next, we have critiquing prototype theory. There are three types theory from critiquing prototype theory include assumptions of prototype theory, reference points for categorization, and challenges to prototype theory. For the first assumption of prototype theory's assumption including fuzzy category boundaries and gradual membership are critically examined from a semantic point of view. Next, reference points for categorization. The role of prototype as reference points for category membership and the abandonment of necessary conditions are questioned, leading to a critical evaluation of prototype theory's claims. Challenges to prototype theory. The discussion addresses number of basic questions and points out issues that present challenges to prototype theory, highlighting the need for alternative explanation. Next, I have semantic knowledge, personal knowledge versus cultural knowledge. The paragraph serves as an example of why it is important to make distinction between our own knowledge and the information that establishes the boundaries of the community in which we live. For instance, each of us is knowledgeable about apples to some extent. Some of our information is specific to us. For example, we may know how certain apple tasted, what kind of apples we should eat, where to get apples in our neighborhood. Our cultural community owns only a portion of our collective knowledge, rather of referring to it as personal knowledge. Let's call this knowledge cultural knowledge. And next, cultural categories are those that are technically accepted by the community as an identity, and cultural knowledge specify these categories. A tenet of conventional semantics is the division between semantic knowledge and word knowledge. Or cultural and individual knowledge, it is tenable to argue that understanding the meaning of the term apple, computer, mouse, and alcohol doesn't require us to possess a comprehensive understanding of their respective cultures. And next, I have a hierarchical organization of categories. In this paragraph, there are 3 points such as basic level categories, preferred categories, and role in communication. For the first, basic level categories. The way categories are arranged and understood is influenced by the fundamental levels of our categorization, which stands for a medium degree of generality that is prevalent in thought and communication. Next, preferred categories in cognitive processing. Basic level categories are those that are most frequently employed and chosen because they best capture how people see and interact with the environment. Next, role in communication, the phrases that are employed and the fundamental guidelines of communication are shaped by the basic level categories, which have a special place in communication. Okay, I think that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.